nice win for the Phillies last night. They get this homestand started off with a victory behind Wheeler. We'll do more on Wheeler coming up. But Hugh, the other side of the coin, of course, it was the good news before the game, but it was – you ever get good news, but it's like tepid good news? It's like, yeah, you got good news, but then the reality of it may be not what you wanted it to be. So Bryce Harper was activated from the injury list yesterday. Hugh, that's the good news, right?
Yes.
We were all hoping for that. We thought yesterday there might be a chance because he took extra batting practice over the weekend in Atlanta. But sometimes the story is good, and then you kind of dig for the details, and it's like, what are we getting here? And that's what I'm wondering about Bryce Harper. So, what I'm about to say, and we're about to hear from Bryce, this isn't just based on last night, right? It's just one game. He had 2 at-bats. He also walked and got hit by a pitch. So 0 for 2 last night. But, Hugh, after listening to Bryce Harper yesterday, I got to tell you, I'm not expecting us to get the Bryce Harper we're used to with him back now because I don't even know what this guy is. I'm not sure he knows what he is physically at this point. Let's listen to Bryce Harper yesterday as he returned, talking before the game. Bryce Harper on why now. Like, why was now the time for him to be activated? Well, here's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear him say, I'm 100%. I'm ready to go for the second half of the season. Instead, we got this yesterday in the dugout.
I didn't think I was going to take any other steps forward of feeling better or anything like that. I thought we were kind of at a standstill of it feeling the same the last couple of days, and from BP to live and things like that kind of gave us the same result each day. So I thought today was a good one.
He was at a standstill, didn't think it was going to progress any further. That didn't give me great hope for Bryce Harper and whatever the heck's going on with his wrist. Like, I was hoping for him to say, I feel myself, and he didn't say that yesterday. Basically, he said, yeah, we don't think this is getting any better, so I gotta tough it out here. 215-592-9499 for reaction to the win last night, and really on Bryce Harper. Hugh, I think the question now is, are you expecting Bryce Harper to be Bryce Harper? And I think everyone knows what I mean when I say that, right? The Bryce Harper we're used to. The Bryce Harper that's been one of the best hitters in baseball since his whole career, but certainly in Philadelphia. Hugh, yesterday, before he was activated, you said you expect Bryce to be Bryce. Do you expect Bryce to be Bryce now that he's officially back?
Yes, I do. I think that, like I said the other day, I think Bryce is in a position right now where he's uncomfortable with how he feels. Mm-hmm. That's number one. I told you I don't think he's one of those guys that likes to take a whole lot of extra medicine or anything like that. So he's out there naked, if you will. And I feel like for him, he has to work through whatever it is he's feeling. He has to adjust. Because like he said, he's probably not going to be 100%. He's in a good place where the doctors have told him that he can't injure himself anymore. So he just has to get comfortable with that. So with all of that being said, yes, I expect him when he gets comfortable to be the Bryce Harper old.
Let's hear more from Bryce yesterday on why he thinks he could be his best now, whatever that version is, as he's back from the injured list.
Do you feel you can play at your best level, feeling the way you do now?
Yeah. Flat out. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that make you feel confident that, yeah?
Well,
I didn't. This is not – something about this doesn't feel right to me because usually when a player comes back from an injury, and I know they're all different, and I'm sure you've suffered different injuries that you feel your best or not your best when you come back. There's a sense of optimism when a guy gets back. I'm ready to go. And what I got yesterday is I guess I'm ready to go because I'm not getting any better. Like, it almost felt like I stagnated in my recovery, so we might as well just come play games.
Yeah, and try to figure it out. Like, he's going to have to figure it out. There's no question about that. But I believe that once he does figure it out, that he could be the Bryce Harper that we need him to be. Now, realistically, what does that look like? Don't know. I mean, if we're talking about the Bryce Harper that was hitting home runs all over the place and, doing all the things that Bryce Harper does, I don't know about that. But I'll take 70% Bryce Harper in this lineup over 0% any day.
So I will too, but don't the Phillies need the real Bryce Harper, though? Closer to the best? I mean, maybe there's a chance he's already peaked, right, as a player. He won 2 MVPs already. He may never win another one again. That's aging. That's normal. I'm not saying he has to be MVP level Bryce Harper. But I need something close to that, all-star level Bryce Harper. I don't know if we're seeing that this season again. He's back. That's great, but I got the sense listening to him yesterday that this is a touch and go like the rest of the season. We got to wake up and see how we feel every day. That didn't give me comfort.
Yeah, because it feels like recklessly speculating.
Well, here we go. Yeah, it's only 10:07.
That's what I do. That he has to find his comfort zone. The doctors have probably told him, hey, this is as good as it's going to get. There's no more – you can't do any structural damage to it. Probably told him that. And now it's up to you, because everything that has been said up until this point is, hey, it's all on him and how he feels. So it is on him, and it's on him to work through that. And I do believe strongly, with me recklessly speculating, that this has something to do with Bryce doesn't want to take anything to dull his senses. It really does, because normally when you're like that and you're told that, you can't do any more damage, you just take a shot. Take a shot and keep it moving. And deal with the consequences after the fact. Don't feel like Bryce is that type of cat. He's going to do all that.
There was just something about his demeanor yesterday, like the inflection in his voice. I didn't sense a lot of optimism from him. It was almost like, I'm back. I guess we'll see what happens here. And I was hoping for more, hey, I'm back. I'm feeling better. I'm ready to go. I didn't get that yesterday. Let's hear Rob Thompson. I thought this was also interesting. Topper yesterday asked about this, and we've kind of chronicled how there seems to be a disconnect between the Phillies and Bryce on this. A couple weeks ago, Dombrowski said he was cleared, and then it took, another full week or so for him to get back? Let's hear Topper in the dugout yesterday before the game on Bryce's comments, the one we just played for you. Here was Topper's reaction when he found out what Bryce said.
Bryce used the term, the progress was at a standstill. Is this something that will have to be managed, from here on out?
I don't know what that means. Progress is at a standstill.
That's what he said. He said, he didn't necessarily feel like he would get any better. He used the word standstill.
Well, it sounds like he's fine to me. So we're just going to have to monitor him every day. That's all, when he comes in. And it's not only his wrist, it's his legs, too, because you can do all the conditioning you want. But once you get out on the field and he hits 4 doubles tonight, then we better check his legs tomorrow,
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there, Hugh, with the Topper's reaction. There seems to be a disconnect.
Shout out to John Clark for being that dogged reporter.
That's what his job is. He's doing his job. But I did a couple things here.
Rabble-rouser.
One, he was confused at what Bryce said.
Yes.
But then, two, he acknowledged we have to check on him every day. If you're checking on him every day, then that means he's not right. Because I'm sure they check on every player, and the trainers do every day. But if you're specifically checking on this guy's wrist every single day on how he's feeling, it tells me he's not himself, because you wouldn't do that for a player that didn't have an issue, or if he was fully back, maybe after a few days, and he feels good, you kind of move forward and you treat him like the player he used to be. I'm not expecting Bryce Harper to be Bryce. Now, I agree with what you said. I'll take 70% of the prime Bryce Harper, but I was hoping we were getting Bryce. When I say Bryce Harper, everyone knows what I mean. You could picture the last 7 years in Philadelphia. We're halfway through this contract. You know who that is. That guy's been one of the best players in baseball for a long time. I'm not expecting Bryce to be Bryce. 215-592-9494. What'd you make of the Topper response there?
Everybody's not on the same page. Like Topper's, Bryce is saying one thing.
And he's on the other.
And Topper's talking about something else. I think to be honest, a lot of this, I think the team feels that Bryce is fine, and I think Bryce, it's more mental for Bryce, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to be fair on what you just said, Bryce is the one that kind of put himself on the shelf a month ago, right?
Yeah.
They didn't shut him down.
Yeah.
I mean, they effectively had to put him on the IL, but he basically said, I can't do this anymore a month ago, and that's why he went on the injured list. So you're right. I think the team does think he could play through this, but I have no idea where this is going. I don't have great confidence that he's just going to be himself and hit and have no problems the rest of the season. It feels like we're in a day-to-day, week-to-week thing with him the rest of the season.
Well, he has to feel comfortable. That's the biggest thing. In order for you to perform at your best, you have to feel comfortable out there doing what you're doing. And I think for Bryce, he has to get to that level of comfort where he'll say, you know what, even though I don't feel 100%, I can still go out there and do my job.
Yeah, that
might take a couple games.
It might, or it might take long. So I remember in May when he, because he didn't hit much the first month of the season, and we talked about, is Bryce going to turn this around? And most people, including me and optimism, like Bryce is going to hit, right? As long as he's healthy, Bryce is going to hit.
Yeah.
But he's not healthy. He didn't sound to me yesterday like a healthy baseball player. He sounded like someone who's dealing with something and is going to play through it. That's what I heard yesterday. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down now that Bryce Harper is back? Do you expect him to be the Bryce Harper we're used to? Buzz is in today for Kyle back in the studio. Buzz, what are you feeling on Bryce as yesterday he returns? But it was kind of an odd return. Buzz, what do you think? Do you expect Bryce to be Bryce?
No, I don't. I mean, I think this is a guy who I've kind of relegated myself to the fact that I think he's going to be good, not great. I really don't want to think in terms of we've seen the best of Bryce Harper already, but I think we kind of have to set ourselves up for this. This is continual injury problem year after year. The guy clearly has not been the same level of power hitter that he has been in previous seasons. And just looking at his numbers of what he already has this season, like we're probably looking at his lowest OPS in like 10 years. He's at 9 home runs right now. I mean, we'd probably all sign up for like 20 by the end of the season. Sure, if he comes to the plate in a big moment in the postseason, are we all going to be glued to the TV and will we be surprised if he comes through? Like, absolutely not. But the difference between good players and great players is the level of consistency in which they do it, the hot streaks that we are so accustomed to watching this guy. And I don't think we're going to see that anymore. I think those moments of power, those hot streaks are going to be fewer and further between, quite honestly.
I think you're right on that. Yeah, I'm not expecting the greatness out of Bryce Harper. And if he does it,
y'all just negative.
Did you hear him yesterday?
I mean, he did. It wasn't a ringing endorsement, but
it wasn't a ring endorsement. He basically was like, I didn't know what to do, so I decided to come back.
He's admitting he's not 100%, and probably won't be.
He's not comfortable in where he is. He's not centered right now, if you will.
Well, also, I think what Buzz said there it adds to this. Hugh, what even is he now anyway? Right? Like,
what type of player is he?
Yeah, like I know the wrist has been part of the issue, right? We heard about this last August, and then we heard about it again, a few weeks ago when he went on the injury list. I just pulled this up. Over the last calendar year, right? It's July 1st. Mm-hmm. So from last July 1st through now, Bryce Harper has 19 home runs in a year. And I understand that he's missed time in there, but that's the reality of it. He ranks 80th in baseball in home runs over the last year. I mean, some of the names above him, who are these guys? I mean, one of them is Carlos Santana, who I think everyone here probably thinks retired a few years ago. He's still playing. There's a lot of players on the list that you're like, he's above Bryce Harper? It's been a while since he's been the guy that we think of when we think of Bryce Harper.
I think that Bryce is in a space where he probably has to adjust.
Does that mean less power?
It might be. I don't know. Like, I'm, again, recklessly speculating because I don't know what it's like to be a player of Bryce's caliber dealing with what he's dealing with.
Well, the wrist affects everything.
Yeah,
the swing.
Yeah, with the swing and everything. So I don't know. So Bryce has to figure out what he wants to be moving forward until he gets all his faculties back. So maybe he's the guy that moves runners. Maybe guys just
moves runners.
Joe, I'm trying.
This is one of the great hitters of all time.
Flap hitter Bryce.
Oh my goodness!
Just lay some bunts down.
We're cooked if he's moving runners.
Buzz, this is your first day. Before you jump all over me like a bunch of crickets, allow me to get my thought process together first. All I'm saying is
then
this,
jump
guys.
on him.
Yes, and then you'll be free to jump on me. All I'm saying is this: is that we know Bryce is not 100% correct.
Yeah, that's why I'm upset.
But 70% of Bryce is better than no Bryce in this lineup,
I
correct?
Understand, but when you're saying moving runners,
what I'm saying,
if he's Bryson Stott, let's just pack it in now.
What I'm trying to say is this: until you get back to the Bryce of old, do what you can to help this team win. Does that sound better?
Yes, and look, he's good enough that he can walk 3 times in a game and help the team.
Yes,
right. Like he brings a gravitas to the game. I get all that. But when you're saying moving runners, like he's some slap hitting,
just hit a ball to the right side, just get him over.
If you're right on this,
wait a minute, Buzz.
Cooked.
2 seconds.
Moving runners.
See, this is the problem with you people.
We're starting early on the you people.
I'm just saying, you don't want the reality of the situation. The dude sat there, looked like he was 2 seconds away from crying, but he playing. He trying to play. Didn't he get on base last night?
Twice.
Okay.
I mean, one where he was hit by a curveball.
Okay, he got hit, but he got, damn, that's messed up. He get hit first game back.
He did get on base twice last night. That helps. That helps.
That's all I'm saying.
I
is
know.
That you have to allow this man time to get work back, to get acclimated. To be honest, I expected him to hit a home run last night.
You're the problem.
That's what I expected, but I was okay with what he did.
You know what I needed yesterday and he didn't provide it?
What's that?
I needed him to lie to me. I needed him to tell us, I'm back, I feel myself.
He's not a liar, though.
But I needed a liar because
he's not a liar.
When he spoke yesterday, I didn't feel like, Bryce Harper's back. I felt like they don't know what to do, so they're just going to activate him and hope for the best. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down on Bryce Harper? Are you expecting Bryce to be Bryce as he's back in the lineup? As Hugh said, he did get on base twice last night. A walk, got hit by a pitch later in the game. The bottom line is, though, he didn't sound He didn't sound very optimistic to me. He sounded almost in like he said it like stand still. They didn't know. He sounds like they're not sure what to do, so screw it. Let's go play some baseball.